So tonight, you may have seen Sarah Douglas do this the other day. She made an ornament, and so that's what we're going to make tonight as well. And let's see, I have a couple of pieces of things here that I need. So I got a paper clip. This one's a little bit bigger than I would have liked. So I started with a paper clip. Breathe, Sharon. Yeah, I know. And so I just unwound it, and I have just a wire cutter, and I also have some needle nose pliers so I can shape it with if I want to. So I'll probably just cut this off at the other junction here. Oh, this cut perfectly right before I went on. There we go. So this is going to be my hanger. All right. We'll get there in a second. We're going to start with some designer series paper. Now, I had a class using the Tidings of Christmas designer series paper and the Tidings and Trimmings set. And so I had quite a few people, and I had a lot of leftover scraps. You can see a lot of these scraps. So I took some of them, like these pieces, and I cut them a little bit further down into 1/2-inch strips. And then I cut the 1/2-inch strips into different sizes. And I'll have these sizes on my blog. But we've got, I think this one is 3.5, and we have 2 of those. And then we have 2 3-inch ones. And we have 2.5. And then these 2 are 2 1/4. And we're going to start by actually just gluing these 2 1/4. Ooh, that's too much. Gluing these 2 1/4 ones together. So I'm going to take the wrong sides. I want this cherry cobbler looking side facing out. So I'm just going to put those together. I hear one of my cats at the door, angry that I'm on this side of the door and he is not. He's trying to scratch his way in, and I'm ignoring him. So the next thing we need to do is, and this, it helps if you have a bone folder. You're going to take these ones and curl it, and you can see it curls pretty nicely. And then with the ends, you're just going to bend them out a little bit. And so when Sarah was talking about this, she said it's like a little door handle. Like, you know, when you put on the door, like, see, that's what it looks like. Maybe I curled it a little too much. I don't need it that curled. That's what you're going to do to all of these pieces. So you curl it, and then you just tab it out a little bit. And I am going to try to keep my pieces together, the ones that are the same size. So the side that I want showing is the side that goes, that bends this way. So I want the red showing, the cherry cobbler. Hi, Mary. Nice of you to join us. Happy to have you. So again, I started with 2 pieces of designer series paper that were 1/2 inch thick. And these 2 were 3.5 inches long. These 2 were 1/2 inch thick, and they were 3 inches long. These 2 are 2.5 inches long. And so I'm just curling it a little bit with my bone folder and then flipping out these ends a little bit. And then these 2 pieces were 2 1/4, and I didn't need to bend them or do them at all. These are the center. So now we're going to take these pieces and, okay, full disclosure, I haven't made one of these yet, so let's hope it comes out nicely. Shaz, what's the weather in the UK like? So I'm going to put a little glue on the wrong side of this. And I'm going to take the next size, and I'm going to glue that inside the middle here. Just put them together. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the smallest size. So you can see how they're nesting in with one another. So this is going to be half the ornament. I'm going to just let that set for just a second. Let's just squeeze that for just a second. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. So just line up the ends here. So see, you have this little piece that goes like that. And what we're going to end up doing is gluing this piece in, but let's go ahead and first put these other two together. Well, of the three, I guess. Get my silicone mat out in case I get any extra glue places, which I am doing. Did everybody have a nice Thanksgiving? Well, Shaz, you probably didn't celebrate Thanksgiving since it's an American holiday. Although I'm sure you're thankful. So you're under a storm warning. What kind of storm? Like hurricanes, tornadoes? What do you get those things there? You're probably not hurricane, I wouldn't think. It's we've got snow in certain parts, not too far from us. We have a place actually where my family's camp is. You've seen me broadcast from before sometimes. That's in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, and they're supposed to get 4 to 8 inches of snow tonight. One of my nieces is up at the cabin, and hopefully she doesn't get snowed in there. All right, so I've got these pieces here. Now we're going to put this, glue that right there. I'm going to have to hold that for just a second. Warning not to go out. Well, that's a good reason to stay inside and craft, sounds like. Hopefully your power will stay on so you don't have to craft by candlelight. And then we're going to just do the glue this to the other side as well. Well, here in Maine, Shaz, where I am, we don't get much bad weather either. We might get an ice storm. Very rarely we'll get a hurricane, but the hurricane is usually, a 0 or a 1. So it's not really much of anything. Sometimes we get a little bit of a remnant from a tropical storm, but it really doesn't do much here. Ice storms are the bigger things here. We might get some snow that's, is heavy enough also that will cause power outages and strand people, but I like it. Probably the rest of my fellow Mainers that are on here tonight will say boo hiss, but I like the snow. So I am coming up on a great season. So here's our little ornament that you have, and you can dangle it from the tree. Well, I can't really show you how you can dangle it from the tree. Now, if you want to finish this off a little bit nicely, I've got a couple of strips of some silver paper. Now, this silver paper, let me show you, is from the mini catalog. It's the silver foil specialty pack, and it comes in 3 different silvers. So let me see if I can find them all here. So you've got a really dark one, and you've got a kind of a, I would almost call this more of a pewter right back here. And then you've got like the bright white silver. It's not white, but it's what I like, sterling silver. So I've got the sterling silver piece that I grabbed, and I just cut a little bit off. And I could wrap this right around here just to make it a little bit more finished. I'm gonna just sort of, and I didn't cut it, you know, I didn't take into consideration the thickness. So I'm gonna cut this again. Whoop. I'm gonna just cut this again. I'm gonna actually cut it probably, you know, longer than I need, but it's 1.5 inches maybe, something like that. Let's see if that's long enough. I think I probably used a different color silver this time. I did. That's all right. I'm gonna go back here. And if I wrap that around, it just gives a little bit of a nicer finished look. And I'll just wrap it all the way around. I probably will trim it off just a tad here. That's where my snips here. And I can see where my last fold line was. I'm going to snip that off. So let's go ahead and put a little bit more glue on both sides of this. Bend that over. We'll let that set up. A little bit of glue showing right down here at the base, but that will dry clear. So there we go for that. And then we have the other side as well. You know what? I'm going to live dangerously, and I'm just going to wrap it on with the glue on here, and then I'll cut it. How about that? Live on the edge. Wrap it around. And we will cut that off. And take our little hanger that we made almost. I mean, obviously you could just take a normal ornament hanger. And you can hang it from the, here, let me show you. Hang it from the tree. Or on this side. Whichever way. So you've got this cute little ornament. It's got the Designer Series paper on it. So pretty quick and easy. Let me show you another one. For those of you who missed the measurements, it will be on my blog, stamperhood.com, a little bit later. So I just took a scrap and I cut it into 1/2 inch widths. There's 1, 2, 3, and I needed 3.5 inch strips. Now, because it was 6 inches long to begin with, this is 3.5, this is 2.5. I also need a 2.5. So let's do that again. So I got another 3 and a 2.5, 3.5 and a 2.5. And now I need I need 2 3s, which conveniently is 1/2 of 6. And so the only other thing I need is 2 strips that are, again, 1/2 inch wide. And this time 2¼ inches long. 2¼ inches long. So you can bang out a bunch of these ornaments pretty quickly. What a nice little gift this would make for somebody, or you could put one on a Christmas present as a decoration. Again, I'm gonna keep my pieces in order here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue these two together. The smallest ones I glue together. And I keep them straight. Oop. Let's bring my mat back out in case I get all gluey. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to curl them with my bone folder, and the side that arcs out this way, this side is going to be the side that's showing up right now. That's the outside. The other side's the inside. Sometimes both sides are pretty interesting. This one doesn't have a whole lot of, interest on the other side. It's a beautiful Sahara sand, but it's not a bright, colorful pattern. So you can see this curls very easily, very nicely. Those are my big ones. See, I'm not even really caring that I'm getting these real straight. All right, I'll care a little bit. Just fold them back a little bit. These are just the tabs that you're going to be gluing. And then the smaller ones, you got the Papa Bear, the Mama Bear. Now we'll do the Baby Bear. Okay, we're going to glue them all together. So I'll take one of the large ones. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. I want to make sure that I've got the same sides facing me when I put them together. There's that. Just pinch them. Gets the glue to hold. And same thing for this last one. And when I'm doing this, I'm lining it up here, but I'm also making sure that they kind of are straight together down here. You can set that aside and do the other one. Let that glue set up just a little bit. Gotta put my emergency fix nail back down. I'm not so sure that the emergency fix was better than the blank slate that was there before. Okay. And now I'm going to do the other ends, put them together. So I can put a little glue on that one, a little glue on that one. I don't need glue on the other one yet, quite yet. I can put them all together, pinch them at once. Get this excess glue off. Okay, so I have that. They can dry while I set these guys up together. I'm not sure if my phone is picking it up or not, but if you hear a cat meowing and scratching at the door, his name is Crash. And he's trying to crash our video. Silly cat. Now I'm going to take this piece that I had created first, and that's what I'm going to join these guys to. So with one package of paper, you probably have lots of scraps in all sorts of the different patterns. This one's not behaving. So you'll have quite a bit of ornaments if you want, and they'll coordinate with each other. I put my Christmas tree up yesterday. I think that's the first Thanksgiving I've put it up. I'm not sure. Maybe I did it last year too. And then just do it again on the other ends. Now you don't actually have to wrap the ends. You can just keep them as they are. Where'd the glue go? I don't know where the glue went. We'll add a little bit more. Pinch these two together and pinch these two together. Just let them set up. I love this pattern. This is a beautiful pattern. Now, if you don't want, silver on the ends of these, a scrap of evening evergreen would look, this isn't a scrap that I'm going to use, but that would look nice, capping that off. And so you can see that I'm a little crooked up here, which is why it would be nice to actually wrap that in some cardstock. Let's go ahead and get out some cardstock, because I do have scraps. See, here's a scrap. I don't even need it 1/2 inch wide though. I think I used something like 1/4 inch wide. Just enough to trim it up a little bit. Obviously, you can make it a little bit wider. My glue is got a bubble in it or something that keeps wanting to squeeze out. And if you wanted to wrap it all the way around and go to the other side, that way there is not even a plain little bit peeking out over there. You can do that. Just hold that until it sets up. I'm going to trim off the little excess that's right here. Okay, there's one end. Oh, this looks so much nicer finished that way, don't you think? So tell me, do you have real trees or artificial trees at your house for Christmas? I want to know. Last year was the very first year my family went artificial. We talked about it for many, many years, but there was just so much nostalgia that I couldn't pull myself to doing it, but we did it last year, and I'm kind of glad we did. No more needles falling all over the place. No more spending, $40 to just throw it out at the end of the year, which is, not very far from when you put it up. All right, now, so this ornament, look at this ornament. It's a little kind of crazy crooked, right? But you can manipulate it. You just got to play around with it and see, then it straightens out. So don't worry if you don't get the curl the same on all of them. It straightens out. Now I'm out of paper clips. My paper clips are in a different spot. I think I did, though, get out something that would work just as well. Let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here's my Simply Elegant trim. So if you wanted to use this instead of a hook, you could even punch a hole in here, although that's got quite a bit of layers there. That might be a little difficult. I've got glue on my fingers, so. Anne has 3 artificial trees, 1 for each room. And it's her birthday too. Yes, so you can do whatever you want since it's your birthday. I actually have 2 trees. I have a teeny tiny little tree, which is fun to decorate. And I think if I made some of these, maybe, starting with like 2.5 to, going in slightly smaller increments, and maybe only 1/4 of an inch wide, that they would look great on my tree. All right, I can't tie a knot because this ridiculous piece of fake nail, see, look, I'm even, whatever. But anyways, there's your ornament. You can hang it from a tree. So I think if I just play with the measurements and make either 3/8 of an inch wide or 1/4 of an inch wide, and start with, instead of 3.5 being my longest, maybe start with 2.5 being my longest, I can make them small enough for my little tree. It's just an 18-inch tree, and you know, I think those would look darling hanging from there. So anyway,